coming up. Oh, wait. Okay, so coming up this week, on Tuesday, we have the employment cost index, which may influence the Fed interest rate decision that's going to happen on Wednesday. So that's going to be Wednesday at 2 p.m. There's also ISM manufacturing PMI, JOLTS job openings. So Wednesday will be an interesting, probably volatile day. And then the interest rate decision is at 2 o'clock. And I thought that Powell was speaking. I don't see it here on the economics calendar. But I'm pretty sure that Powell is speaking at some point next week. If it's not Wednesday, I don't see it on Thursday either. So maybe they'll just add it later. And then, of course, we have on Thursday, we have the jobs data at 8:30, which, Powell has been kind of putting a lot of weight on that. And then on Friday, we have non-farm payrolls at 8:30. And we know the last couple times that that's affected the market a lot. And then, hopefully y'all don't hear that airplane in the background. We have a lot of earnings this week. So, along with that economic data, on Wednesday we have Meta Wednesday after hours. So that's of interest, of course. And then Thursday after hours, we have Amazon, Apple, and Google at the same time. So lots of volatility. And then that data on Friday. Whew. Yeah. So that's what we got going on this week as far as things that, can affect our TA. So let's start looking at these charts now. Okay, so looking at these on the monthly, we see just a lot of green. Not with the VIX, of course, but with the Dow, the Russell 2000, NASDAQ, they're all green. The NASDAQ has triggered the 2 up on the month. So, it's sitting at a resistance, but there is some more magnitude there. Could see, what is this, about 12,800? If it doesn't reject this resistance right here with this moving average. So 12,513 is my first target, and then this is about 12,750, 12,800. But we see that it's kind of, based a little bit, and with the strength that the bulls have, it's just a lot of things are already basing and looking like they're about to break out. And then looking at the VIX, we've been talking about the fact that it's been in a downtrend, and it's also 2 down on the month and has magnitude. So, the next support for the VIX is around 1650-ish. So, it can drop another couple of dollars while the market runs. And then if it breaks I think this is a pretty strong support. This may be where we see some pullback activity happen. But then the next support is down here at $13. So that's, banking on the market running, not being slapped down for FOMC or Apple earnings next week or any of that data, and just continuing the bull run. Then, VIX, that's where it can drop. Of course, the Dow is still inside, and then the Russell 2000 also has magnitude. I can get to 2038 if it breaks this resistance. So that's a lot of moving small caps can do. Small caps may be having their time right now. So looking at it on the week, everything's looking good. Looks like we have made some lows TTO'd some folks out, and since then have made higher lows. Dow's still inside for the week, but looking good. We know on the day that this is above its 200, so it's definitely looking great. Um, VIX is sitting here at the support, but we already gave the levels for where that can go, and then the Russell 2000 looks like it's ready to break out. So yeah, everything is looking really, really bullish. As far as where they are as compared to their 200 daily average, the Dow has been holding since November basically. So it's been doing good. The Russell has broken above and held, and the Nasdaq is sitting right at it for the first time since August. So that's interesting. But yeah, we have full time frame continuity that's green on all of these. So as far as the charts are telling us, the bulls are in control. And the VIX keeps falling, so, did a nice H here. So are we gonna continue to fall or bounce from here? All right, so looking at our big dogs, we know Apple has earnings coming up on Thursday. So, this may be an earnings run up, and it could possibly continue. We see that it's triggered the outside month. Speaking of that, I posted the list of current outside months in the chat, the study time chat. If you have any questions or any tickers you want me to look at, you can post them in there. But keep in mind that we only have 2 days of month left. So Monday and Tuesday, and then we start a new month Wednesday, and then we won't uncouple until the following week as far as time frame continuity. So keep that in mind. But with some of these outside months, some of them can still do it if we have strong bullish days on Monday and Tuesday. So just have to see if it still goes. We know that 150 is the next resistance for Apple anyway, so this Apple can definitely do it in a couple days, get to 150. ATR is $4, so could do it in one day and hit that outside month. 1 second, y'all. They be forgetting. I don't do this every month. Hold on. Fix this. Okay. All right. So yeah. So outside month is in effect there. As long as it stays above the 138, which we are well above. Microsoft has triggered the outside month, but that's quite a bit of range for it to do in a couple of months. So a couple of days. So I don't foresee that happening, but we do know that when things don't finish the outside month or it gets shorted from there, then we can expect it to finish the next month. So Microsoft is actually setting up a decent hammer on the month where it can 2 down, 2 up to finish the outside month. It can't finish. So we'll keep that on watch for next month. We continue this bull run. As far as the Qs, it is 2 up on the month. Magnitude is 311, but again 2 more days on the month, so that's what, $12. I can't math right now, y'all. That's like 307. So close. You're close to reaching that magnitude. We would have to have a couple of strong days on Monday and Tuesday. So, and we've had some strong days. That would be, but yeah. So this may, if starts, if it keeps going, it may just actually be a 2-2 continuation next month, which I don't really like to play those, but yeah. So we have a new 2-week bar. starting as well. No actionable signals there, but we just wanted to check. We'll get to SPY in a little bit. And the same thing on the week. These are all 2 up on the week, so continuing would just be a 2-2 continuation. Again, I don't like to really play those, but sometimes it'll give you, looking at this W here, it'll give you a nice daily entry, with some corrective activity or something like that. You might be able to get in and play it. But normally, I like weekly signals, and none of these are giving weekly signals. They're already gone. Nice hammer on Microsoft there, but yeah. And how they're looking in comparison to their 200 on the day and the patterns that we see. All right, so they call this V. Apple has been on a tear, basically. But if you look zoomed out, it's kind of like a shoulder area here that could be inverse head and shoulders. Apple's sitting right at the 200 though, and it rejected it on the day. So kind of have to see what it does. I think earnings can really affect it because it's basically had a run up to earnings. So is it going to continue that run up or is it going to fall? That'd be really interesting to see. But the pattern here is that it could make a shoulder for a while, a few days, and then decide. Like either is it going to break above this 200 and become bullish or go back into bear territory. And Microsoft hasn't even reached its 200 yet, but there is a small gap here on the daily that it can go for if Apple is going to continue to push because, right now the bulls are in the building, so we can expect that most of the dips are going to be bought. So Microsoft is a little more, I see more of a head and shoulders here, shoulder area. So this week could really decide, because if Apple after this run does fall and Microsoft does fall, that's going to bring the market down, which we'll look at, SPY in a little bit. Even though everything looks bullish, we're always ready for that. Otherwise, we're just looking to see it break above this 200 and hold for both of these stocks and then kind of go from there. That's been a resistance for a long time. So since here it broke above in August and couldn't really hold. So it could even do the same thing. Have us thinking we all bullish and then fall. I'm always ready for the bear side, y'all. Y'all know that. So yeah, same thing with the Qs. It's sitting right at the 200. Zoom out, really. Still a larger downtrend. Oh, it's right here. Kind of like this downtrend line there. So even though it's done this, it needs to really break right around here and hold. Just like Apple and Microsoft, which, makes up the majority of the Qs. So, and then SPY. We are going to hide these drawings. So again, SPY is still inside month. We do know that it, we got full time frame continuity to the upside. No real actionable signals right there. But the bulls have really continued to buy the dip since October. So since we made this low here, we've consistently made higher lows since then. And so now we have broken above the 200 and we've so far stayed above it. Broke above, washed below, but bulls stepped in, and now we're above. And we've closed above it 1, 2, 3 times now. So a little bit different than, well, we closed above it 3 times here too. Well, no, because if you count all of these, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times we closed above it. So I haven't done that since back here in August, which that was the EMA, not the MA. The MA we haven't closed above that many times since March of last year. Wow. It's been a year. So, and even then it still fell. So, it's just still a do or die moment. I won't let go of being a bear completely until we hold above it. But we do want to notice, like, again, the higher lows, a couple of other things. This could be this cup and handle. Oh, cup handle. This kind of handle area. Boom. And then again, the inverse head and shoulders. So you got a shoulder here, the head, and this is the shoulder area. So the shoulder area will be between basically 390, that 390 support that we've had, and this 410 area. So that entire area we can just bounce around and make another shoulder area. And if we do that and the 200 stays below that bounce area, what we can expect for SPY to just boom from there, because that inverse head and shoulders will play out. So where could it go? All my lines are going to come back as soon as I do that. So my first is 410, of course. 412. This big supply area where this gap is at. 422. So yeah, 422 would be my next target for that. Otherwise, I did notice, or I saw somebody tweet about a bearish divergence on SPY to be aware of, and that's the fact that the RSI is not making the higher highs that SPY is making. So usually that indicates a reversal. So we would see, I mean, even if it did, I would expect that 390 would be the next support. And then if it breaks that, then we want to reevaluate our bullish thesis. But for the most part, I mean, the bulls are in the building. Until that changes, we would continue to be bullish. So that's SPY. IWM, it's like the Russell 2000, but, more playable because of the SPY like contracts. But as you can see, it's sitting at this resistance right here. So if it can break 190, it's really going to go. And of course, if the rest of the market goes, you can expect this to go. And well, of course, 2 days is not going to make the monthly magnitude, but that would be the next magnitude there. I'm looking on the quarter. Oh, it's trying to rev strat on the quarter. So, interesting to think about. If we do have another bullish month, because the quarter is over end of March. So if this rev strats, then the target is about 210, 209. My hand will be still. It's like 209.50-ish, but yeah, y'all get the drill. That would be the target on the quarter. If small caps continue to go and bust out, I think IWM may be a decent swing for that. Contracts are actually pretty decent, so yeah, it would be breaking out of this. Let's see how we look on the 2-week. Yep, so it broke that resistance there and was able to close right at another one. Let's see how we're looking on the week. And on the day, we are above the 200. And we've held, for the most part, looks like we've made it support. So as long as this continues, yeah, it's got some magnitude. I don't really see any gaps. to the upside. But yeah, there's a lot of range there. And then there's XLE. So last week we talked about broadening formation for the year that we had for XLE. So that we had magnitude for that. Keep that on watch. Not the quarter, the month is what I want. And you can see we kind of triggered up and then came back in. So it may just be doing a little bit of sideways activity, which we also said that, because after this, it may stay inside for a little while. But to me, it's still strong. Energy is still strong. It's still being supported. They're buying the dips. It'll have some decent dips, but they're getting bought for the most part. So on the day, we have kind of an inverse head and shoulders here. So here's your shoulder area between about 88-ish and 94. So it may even bounce around that area before it decides what it wants to do. But yeah, that is XLE. And then SOXL had a great week with the chips. So we've been talking about this since kind of back here. But this has been, a decent mover for the most part, and they're cheap contracts though. So, looking like it's trying to break out. And they'll do a nice move up. It's not really an actionable signal here on the week though, but just keep it on watch because, when you don't want to play the expensive chips, you can always play this one. So sitting at a resistance here. Kind of have to see what this does, but nice trend of once it crossed, it's been making support here on this 8. So it's SOXL and then FXI had a decent week. We talked about this last week, that 3-2, and it went ahead and filled that little gap there. So this has been moving, along with China, of course. But it's something you should also, it's kind of like SOXL. It's a cheaper way to play like Baba and Baidu and PDD. That and KWeb. KWeb is another one. Had a decent week. The bullish Randy Jackson. So these, they give basically opportunities to get in. Some of those down days, as you can see, it's been riding this 8 though. So really since November. Actually, longer than that. Once it crossed, yeah, for the most part, a year. But yeah, it's somewhat of a trend of holding there. So it's based now for a little while. So maybe trying to break out. It's like Baba. I was talking about this on the show this week. But I really wanted to point out how Baba can't get over 120. And this is why. And if you look way back to 2014, that is a resistance from there that is kind of just followed. It was a resistance and it was a support, then it was a resistance, and it's been a resistance for a while. So it's had a hard time really breaking 120 to make its next move up. So it's kind of been basing, again, it's like it has been respecting the 8 for the most part, but it's just really having a hard time breaking that. So if it doesn't though, it maybe puts on Baba for a little bit because it is struggling there. And it does have a couple gaps on to the downside. Well, just this one, really. No, these two. I don't think it was going to come back down to this area though, but we don't know. Remember, I am looking at Baba on the quarter, so really above 95. go all the way back to 95. Yeah, that'd be a lot. As long as we still stay above this 200, then I think, I'm still bullish on Baba. PDD had a better week though. It's been a better play for the most part, and still above. And I say that because it's triggered the year. Come on, it's triggered the year, and for the most part, held above it. It looks really good. So it's sitting at its quarterly magnitude, which I think is why we saw that pullback on Friday. Yeah, Friday it was struggling because it hit that magnitude, and then yeah, it's a little struggle there. So this actually, if Baba and China does decide to pull back a little bit, maybe a decent play on Monday as far as the two down reversals down to this 8 or even to this I think this the 20. I have these new lines on this thing. Yeah, that's the 20. So I think this is still a good both way play. Like just every week, it's just been doing very well. Snow was a great play, great play this week. It did a 3 on the week, so something to keep in mind that we had this CTO here. So if it decides to 3-2 continue, it does have some range here. This broad information, my next target is 170 on Snow if we are still bullish. So another $10 move. And then Pep is one. Did this 3-2. Interesting to see what it's going to do here. We have full time frame continuity to the downside, but because it did TTO these folks right here, I'm trying to see what this inside week is going to do. So it'd be nice if this was a 3-2 resting candle for it to continue down, or it may correct from here. Either way, if it decides to continue down or correct to the upside, it may be a decent play. So keep your eyes on PEP. If it does correct to the upside, you got a rev strat here on the day where it kind of did an H here. It may want to do another bit of an H, and then there's a gap here on the day daily at 164. So that is all. Oh no, before I go, I wanted to show y'all something. Make sure you do a sector list. As you can see, I have this sector rotation indicator on my chart, but I think it's helpful to, if you're looking at these, to actually go look at the charts and just kind of see what everything is doing. So you can kind of see a pattern of what's going on with each sector. This is energy. Of course, we already looked at that. But then you have technology. See all these W's. XLV healthcare has not been doing that well. Consumer staples has an inside week. What you gonna do? XLU, which is utilities, is taking forever. Also an inside week, but red. Communication services. XLY, consumer discretionary. XLI with the inside week. And a lot of these are looking somewhat similar with these green weeks, with the exception of a couple or a few. Jets looks good this inside week. It's ready to break out above about 21. Above about 21, this may actually go. And I actually have been talking about airlines as well because, travel industry this year is supposed to be making a comeback. Boeing, even though they had somewhat of a loss, well, not somewhat of a loss, they had a surprising loss, still is producing good numbers, and the chart is doing great. Boeing has been amazing. That in a second. But yeah, this could be trying to break out. Looking at it on the quarter. Let's trigger the 2 down, 2 up. It hit that target, and then we still have that magnitude. So, and then this could be another one. This could actually rev strat on the year. So, like Boeing, same thing with Boeing. It's been doing good, and it's been beaten down for a long time. If this rev strats on the year, Boeing could go. So, yeah, it's funny because I was saying in a chat somewhere that we were watching, Kiki and I were watching Boeing all last year when it was doing all this. We were just saying, oh my gosh, Boeing is just not having a green month. Like, it's just having the hardest time. And then it'd have one, and then it gets smacked back down. And then so we both just missed this entire run up. This entire run up, and Boeing has had 4 green months in a row. But, it's one of those things where it's like, if it's going to go, especially like with what we just saw in the year, it can definitely go. It has magnitude. It can move. So just have to see, keep Boeing on your watch list, watch what it does. Even though it had that not so great earnings, they still bought it up, as you can see, and it did an outside week. So it can still 3-2 up on the week if it wants to continue to go. Because it's had some corrective activity. You can kind of call this a flag right here, bullish flag. So, Boeing, it's a double inside day there. It's not strat signal, but, it just indicates double consolidation. Maybe ready for a breakout. And, it's not one of those. I was looking at it saying, okay, there's a time to short it. No, when you're looking at it on the daily, it's above its 200. It's riding these EMAs almost perfectly. So, no, it's not time to short. Bulls are in the building. Boeing is doing pretty decent. So, this is that. And then XOP. Actually, not quite sure. Oh, yeah. I was just showing that. How it looked. And then lithium and battery ETF. Oh, you know what I wanted to add to this? Just gonna add that for my own. So I told y'all about the yen. It's not really a sector, but yeah. So okay, that's all I have for today. I'm gonna see if you guys have any questions.
Okay, so you guys can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, hold on. But I have my chart really completely updated, but the reason why I'm looking at United Airlines is because on the year we already hit 50, 53, 52. Um, so I'm looking forward to continue to come back in. See on the quarter. 2 up on the quarter, but we already took this price target out, so we really would have to run up to like 60, 63. Um, we have an inside week, which is good. So we're either looking for it to continue to break down or, reverse back up. So, like inside week. So, but really my favorite time frame to look at is a 4 hour. So I'm looking for it to break below then the 20 EMA and then just start to take the rest of these targets out below or bounce here and continue back up. Also, it looks better on the 1 hour too as well. And we got the MACD crossing as well. So I'm really watching. It's kind of been trading a little bit sideways. Hasn't really been doing much. But hopefully next week we get like a really good move on it, and it's a cheap play as well. And also, I've been watching Nike for like the past week or so. So I was trying to see if it could break above 130, and it hasn't been able to. So hopefully it could come back down. That day we had that crazy bar, so I don't know, but it's also been trading kind of sideways. Let me see on the week. We have a two up, but barely. So I think next week, hopefully, it comes back down a little bit. Inside the year, two up on the quarter. I don't think it's getting to 140 anytime soon, to be honest. In the inside day, so I'm looking for it to come down just a little bit and probably test this 20 and then maybe continue back up or break through and continue to fall. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it simple this week. That's all my plays. I'm not playing any tech, anything like that. No chip stocks. Just keeping it really simple this week. But yeah, that's all I got.
Volatility that's supposed to be this week.
Yeah, so I'm staying away from that unless it's like clear direction.
Yeah.
Then I'll jump in. But I'm gonna stick to my little stocks that give me at least 100%. Keep it moving.
Hmm. I can dig that. Does anybody have any questions for Key or
Any chart you guys want me to look at?
feel free to unmute and throw out a stock, a ticker, put it in the study time chat. Jay, I think is usually busy. Jay, are you free? Looking at anything?
Sure.
Nope. Okay. Alrighty, y'all. Well, if y'all don't. Oh, wait. Smiley's son said square. Oh, somebody said that.
Yeah. Did you talk about Jets?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I talked about Jets.
You have any input on it?
Just that it's been basing, kind of. I mean, that looks just like UAL. I've been
Right.
saying though the Jets look good to break out from there. It's interesting though
Mm-hmm.
how you show it when you show it from the 4 hour. I see where you're seeing, it could definitely break down at because it has been struggling a little bit right there. But I was looking
Mm-hmm.
at more the week and the day. It's an inside week, of course, because you could see all that right there. So if it breaks out on the week, then it does have some upside that it could
Right.
go for. But then it could also that's a really tight week, so you could play it to the downside too for some correction. So
Go three too as well. That would be great if we could go three on a week.
definitely could.
Like come down and then reverse back up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Great eye. But that's your 200, right?
Yeah, this is the 200 MA, and these are the two exponential.
Okay. I
Yeah.
see a gap there on the day though that it could come forth. But so far it's been kind of respecting the EMAs. Let's see if it what it does.
Mm-hmm. That would great. Come down and just start taking these out. All these twos.
If it breaks that 200,
Mm-hmm.
interesting. it found resistance there for a while, but then it just blew past it.
Yep.
One, two, three, four, five, six, like a dozen times, and then it just blew past it like it wasn't there no more.
Yeah. I like this actually. I never looked at Jets before. It's kind of interesting. Oh,
Yeah, and cheap too. So
yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Going sideways. Yeah. People wouldn't be drawing like triangles and stuff. I'm not one of those people, but
mhm. All right. Oh, can you look at square?
square. What time frame?
Um, EXA. So I guess however you would look at it.
Oh,
You got
okay.
charts. You got chart control.
Um,
Or
I
you
don't
can do it
know.
on a monthly. It's cool.
On a monthly. Let me take this out. That needs to be updated. Two up on a month. 3, 1, 2 up.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it definitely still has magnitude.
Yeah. Especially the weakest bullshit. It definitely pushed to 93 or
Hmm.
more.
Yep.
And like retest this 22 actually finally. Because it hasn't in a long time.
Poor Square. Square has been beat down. You remember when I was watching Square for forever,
Who
and
he was. That's when I became a bear after watching Square. It just kept falling for weeks and
Square was
weeks.
great last year. That was like
Yeah.
okay for a while. Then it was sideways for like 5 months, as you can see. So it looks like it's
Right.
definitely trying to break out though.
Mm-hmm.
How we
Yeah. It's above.
side on the year though. That's a lot.
Interesting. I like action. I like Square. Looks good. Yeah.
Hmm.
Definitely could keep going. I don't see why not. Been beaten now for so long.
Right. Yeah, Square had a great week. Look at that.
Actually, from like last week, what's the how I does all the way from yeah, we could have got him from right here and just rolled through all this choppiness, that little dip there, and it would have been good with time.
With time, yep.
Actually, yeah. And it stayed above the 200 on the 1 hour, which is a good indication too as well.
Yeah, Square looks good. It's a shooter on that 4 hour though.
Hmm.
So yeah, it definitely looks good. Looks like Square wants to go for at least 93.
Right. Yeah, we could have got him at the start of the year, and just as long as it stayed above, and that was your only play, it would have been good. As soon as it crossed here, that's crazy.
$20 move.
Yeah, yeah, damn. Any other tickets? Anyone?
Anybody else got something you're looking at? Going once, twice, and thrice. Well, all right. Oh, Google.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was trying to come off mute. Yeah, if you could please look at Google.
Okay. Okay, Google. I know Google triggered the outside month, so it's been strong, right?
Yep, it did.
What was the magnitude? 101. It's about to hit that. We'll do that easy.
Yeah.
And then next month, if we continue to be bullish, it could 3-2, 3-2 up. If the Bulls stay in the building, I've been looking at
Actually, that'd be really nice. And it's cheap contract.
yeah, yes. I was just looking at that today, actually.
One on a year. Yeah, definitely could get to that 104. It should be, if you guys want to go long on it, give it some time. And any day that it's red, just hedge against your calls.
Also, keep in mind that I mean, when if on that quarter, if it does break 105, then it's going to actually two up the quarter, the price of it.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's definitely not getting up here unless something crazy happens. But who knows? I'm not getting crazy, so I can't even say that.
Yeah, something crazy could happen.
And that's actually the next. If you wanna fib it, that 104 if it keeps going up. That's next up.
Mhm. There's a gap on the day too.
Mm-hmm. Oh snap! I didn't even see that yet. And I'll give it the two up on the quarter. Yep.
Did it gap to
As
the
long as it stays
downside?
above that 99, should be good.
I think it did feel that gap to the downside, right?
I think so. How far back?
No, it's right there. It was right there.
Oh,
I think I see it.
oh, this one. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Looked like it did. All right, hold on.
Kind of almost.
Sorry, my chart's kind of messy, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, might look a little like double top or something like that. Maybe might
Okay.
come down a little bit
Hmm.
and then continue back up.
Yeah.
Cause a rejected here came down. Now
Yeah.
it's retesting it. So I might come down a little bit like that, then go back up.
Hmm.
213 on the hour. Mm,
Yeah. That's what I'm looking for the correction. So if it 3-2
all right. We'll come down to this 96 level, then go back up with levels. But just something to keep mindful of those particular levels. You know, play whatever the market gives.
agreed. Agreed.
Okay. Sorry I'm late to the session. I was producing a report for work, so I had to get that done.
Totally understood. You wanted to show us something? You were saying you had something to show us this weekend?
Um, yeah, it was just an entry model that OB kind of touched on before. The the creation, the confirmation stuff, the break and the retest stuff. And I just wanted to show what worked for me on CL. I know Matthew and a few others were looking at it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know he did want to see that. Did you want to share your screen or are you able to?
Yeah, I can share it. Um, can you guys see that?
Uh, 1 second. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so what I wanted to share was again the entry model of supply. Well, you can retest or what OB called it the creation, confirmation, and continuation. Um, so we've had an aggressive move into supply, and OB if I'm wrong or if I've said anything that's not correct, jump in and correct me, okay? But so we had an aggressive move in. This is on the 15-minute chart that I'm looking at, and then wait for price to come back down with the highest candle. It's come back in on itself, and then I then entered on the low of this candle. It's important to note that this candle's high broke that one, so you could have waited. I think I actually got back in again because I got stopped out, but again, it's come down. It's come back into the zone, and I entered at the bottom of this candle body, and then I rode it all the way down, and that's how I entered on I think it was Friday. If that makes sense.
That makes total sense to me. I actually at first was bullish on it to break that area. And then when I saw that it could not break it, I also took that short. That was beautiful. And I
Yeah.
did an outside day, so that's how I helped. But if you could, can you explain where on there, just for the people again, like is the creation confirmation part?
Yeah, so the creation part is so what I'm looking for initially. This is my A plus setup. Is an aggressive move either into supply or an aggressive move down. And again, I've taken this in depth it from OB, but if it's not an aggressive move in and it's chop, you kind of don't want to get into it. So the aggressive move here is these candles on the 15-minute chart, and then you want price to come into the zone, then you want it to take out that high. But at that time, that was a high. The price to come down to take out that high, come back into the zone, and then you'd enter. If that was still a high candle, you'd enter on the bottom of that candle body. But because when we came back into this zone, this created a new high. Wait for price to come back down, come back in again, and then you're entering there. And if you can see, it's kind of whipped near perfect. So that was my entry on the second attempt.
So the
Um,
second part is the confirmation, right? The
that's it, yeah. And then here's your continuation. So
so
that's your creation.
You
yeah,
got
yeah.
two entries there.
Yeah.
Right?
What'd you say?
That there's two entries there. Okay. Um, there's actually two confirmations and two entries. That lower candle, that cell candle where you got marked off as coach. I could barely make it out.
Yeah.
I'm actually on my phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens is when that candle can be used as if you go back over to the other eye, that's your creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then come back to where you got that buy, that sweat, that low. That's your confirmation because it create that candle created a break after I guess it says coach.
Yeah. Change of character.
Yeah, so that candle right there, that buy candle. If you come back, so that's a creation, right? Come back
Yep.
all the way over to the eye, to the next eye. That's your confirmation because that confirmation broke the low um the low of the last sell candle that created that aggressive move.
Mm.
So
Oh,
that candle broke the coach line. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see that.
Do
Yeah,
you
that right
follow?
there. I see that. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, if you realize the engulfing candle that closed below the coach, that shows you that supply is now in. So your first
Mm.
eye is your creation. The second eye is confirmation because you break the structure.
Mm.
Then you'll enter on the next buy candle when it comes back in for the confirmation right there.
Yeah.
The next candle over, the buy candle over. Not that one, the other one,
That one
right
right
there.
there. Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
If you look at the ES, you'll realize why we ran up all week. Because if you go back, that's what's playing out. We're back into continuation. So if you got buys, I'll suggest you tighten up your stop. So if you, yeah, I don't know if you can switch to a ES daily chart, but if you look at a daily chart and go back, then you'll realize, okay, you see we wicked into that supply zone. If
Yeah.
you go back on a 1 hour chart, I don't know if your 1 hour chart could go back into that supply, you'll see your creation confirmation, or you could even use a 15 minute.
Right, so we're oh,
We're right where we're trading now, where ES ended.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where you're getting that engulfing, because if you go all the way back to where that supply zone was created on the daily, you'll see your creation confirmation. Now I'm expecting continuation back to the south side from here on ES.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know if you'll make it out yet.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, I can see it there. So
Yeah,
there
I
comes
see it.
down, comes back up, and there's your cell. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
So
now the
would
cells
you
should be
enter
coming
here,
in.
or would you enter here in the body of the candle? Because I've been entering here.
No, I enter where right once it gets into it, because then I'm looking for the continuation back down.
Okay.
If you go, if so now, if you right there where you got your thing, if you go on a I'll say go on a 15 or a 5 minute chart, you'll see another creation confirmation within that tap that they did yesterday. So you could go, what's it, a 5 minute?
That's 15.
Go to a 5 minute and go to the extreme top, and you'll see it.
You go here.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
You can see it
Right.
there.
So they engulf right as they got into supply. Right. Right. So that's the creation. Then that same creation broke structure. That last cell candle. You see that wick down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the breaker structure, and then the pullback is your confirmation. And then if you go to like a 2 minute or 1 minute chart, you'll see your continuation.
Go.
You'll see clearer.
It's a
See?
3 minute chart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's probably even clearer in the 1 minute chart, because then you get both swings on the 1 minute chart. And that would be your entry from
There's a
there.
1 minute.
Yep.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense. And what I've been doing is targeting the 50% mark. You know, you said using fibs.
Yeah, correct.
And then if it goes past, and then when it gets to the 50%, keeping tight stops. And if it goes past it, then happy days. But if not, then at least you get stopped out in profit.
Correct. Because if it past the 50, it's gonna go back to the creation of the demand that created the entire swing, which is the bottom of the range.
Mhm.
So that's just basically it. You don't have to complicate it. But yeah, the higher time frame, once you get to the higher time frame, you start drill down to your lower time frames and start looking for the same creation confirmation. Just as long as you enter into the zone, you start getting those. And if you look at a 1 hour chart in ES, you'll see the the volume going up into supply. You'll see those consecutive bull candles, or even on the daily chart, you'll see consecutive bull candles just keep pulling into supply, and that's what it's doing. It's pulling into supply. So
Asian golfing
you,
candle,
you,
like you
you
said.
correct,
Yeah.
yes. So that now, for me, I'm start preparing for some downside, coming in.
Mhm.
Um, and then again, starting, you figure, okay, why would you expect the run to supply? You could go back again, because you guys do a lot of options. I don't, but if you know how the futures work, um, technically you have what's called um, expiration, a weekly expiration, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the reports are handed in every Wednesday morning, right? So technically, Monday, Tuesday creates the weekly expiration, if that
Oh,
makes
but
sense.
is this what you was mentioning when you said the weekly DRIDR when you mark the Monday and Tuesday?
Correct. So
Right.
you gotta use Monday, Tuesday because that's when those expirations,
Yeah.
those contracts expire. So really, the week starts on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
You could use that information however you want to use it. I'm just letting y'all know.
Mm.
So
I got onto that the weekly DR idea.
correct. So you guys can use that how you want to use it and see how it works. So the week really starts on a Wednesday, and to be honest, the month really starts on the second Tuesday. But yeah,
Well,
I mean,
that's
for
homework.
uncoupling
I've been
purposes.
finding success on the 15 minutes. You know, you say starting a higher time frame, but what's been working for me is just staying on the 15.
Oh, you
Just
could. You could.
any entry in the 5 or the 1 minute.
You could. You just don't want to not pay attention to the higher time frame because that's what got a lot of folks in trouble for
Yeah.
this week because the market kept running up whenever they thought it would just sell off. But if you notice, you'll see those consecutive 4 hour, 1 hour candles closing above the eyes. And there's a way to calculate it. You'll see if you took Monday, Tuesday range, you would have known that we're pulling to supply.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're aiming for,
Yeah.
right?
Where's it
Because
gone?
Monday creates the range, Tuesday expanded the range, and Wednesday we didn't trap higher, we kept going. So now Friday created a trap higher. It's called three levels of rise, and you'll probably learn about that. I'll probably talk about that next time. But three levels of rise. We're now in 3 months of rise to supply. So yeah, things is gonna get interesting next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
Yep.
heard it.
So,
Yes. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that.
No, no problem.
For sure.
Yeah, so
You know,
if it works for you, man, keep at it. Let's keep it that simple. It's it's not really complicated. It's just to realize when you get a change in structure and a lower time frame while you're in supply.
I think what's interesting from what you've just said is, like I mentioned, I was entering on the body low once it's come back in, but obviously now you said you've got your change of character or your change of structure, you can enter, higher up. So that's quite
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You
Okay.
could enter higher up, or if you missed it, you just wait for the structure. What you want to do, if you want to make it real easy,
Mm.
it's the last cell candle in this case before the swing eye. So that last cell candle that you got there that starts the count, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If you want to make it easy on yourself, I'll come over all the way over, all the way over. There, right there, that candle.
Yeah.
Whenever you get a break of that candle and price pulls back into it,
Yeah.
that's your confirmation because then that last buy to sell candle is what caused the break in structure. So
Mm-hmm.
that's now the supply that's in control.
Yeah.
Right there, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
that makes
So
sense.
that candle, you won't take the weight, take the body. You see how it
Mm-hmm.
came back to the body? Yep,
Mm-hmm.
right there. That's
Yeah.
it. You could back test that, and you will
Mm-hmm.
work wonders.
Yeah.
So you want to see that the last sell candle, then aggressive buy in this case, going up. Yep. Then a breakdown, so you know supply came in. Then a pop up. Then the last sell orders came in and got filled and got knocked out. We took out the reason to go higher because that that last sell candle was acting as a demand.
Yeah.
So if there's no more demand, then supply is in control.
Mhm.
Make sense now?
Yeah, makes sense.
Then once that's taken out and they retrace back to the reason why it was taken out, that's your entry.
Mhm. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
And that will just keep you on the safe side of the market. You put your stops above the high of that candle, and that's it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Working for me last week. Yeah.
So awesome.
That's it.
Thank you for that.
Oh,
Listen, sure.
no problem, man. And then I guess you guys can figure out how it works with the strat.
Oh, I was looking for track handles under the entry on that, the 312 or or the 212 that it was. So yeah,
Okay.
definitely if you can use
Yeah,
it.
but if you guys are in buys for the go ahead and tighten up your stops because things are gonna get a bit shaky this week.
I can
It's
definitely
coming.
believe that. It's gonna be volatile.
Yeah.
Thanks you. Also,
I actually used that same method to call out SPY 0 day calls because flipping on its head, it got into demand and did the same pattern, but the opposite way around. And that's why I was saying get into SPX calls, and then you see how it ran up.
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
I mean, you just want to see the reason comes in. I mean, it's not, if
Mm.
once you start having these big candles coming out and the reason is taken away, which in that case would be the supply that pushed price aggressively into demand. If
Yeah.
that's taken out, then there's no more supply. It
Mm.
is what it is. And now price would
Mm.
just have to search for the next supply zone, and you just keep it
That
that simple.
makes perfect sense to me.
same
Yep. You know,
mechanics of price. Well, thanks, guys.
don't complicate it.
All right. Well, I guess
you
we'll
know.
see you all next week, unless anybody has
Yep.
any questions or anything. All right, y'all.
Does everybody understand what we've just mentioned?
Right. Because if you don't, you got him here right now. Answer questions. I mean, so he'll be in the chat, but it's always good when you have someone right here.
Mm. Oh,
Well, if not, I'm about to head over to Twitter. I'm gonna be on that Stratapalooza thing again at 3. So if I don't see y'all there, then I guess I will see y'all Monday. Everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend.
all right.
I'll try to join that.
Awesome. All right. See y'all later. Oops. Escape.